What's the difference between muslin and natural linen from Benjamin Moore? The answer is not a whole heck of a lot. So thanks for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Of course, I'm just kidding. In this video, we're going to dig in and compare the attributes of both colors so you understand where they're similar and how they're different. As you've come to expect from the land of color, the all-important attributes we'll be talking about are hue, value, chroma, and LRV. My name is Lori Sawaya, and I'm a color strategist and expert. Talking about color is my very favorite thing to do. I can do it a lot and for a really long time. And I am super passionate about using the science of color measurement to make the process of choosing paint colors faster, easier, and 1,000 times more efficient. For example, we're going to use colorographies for muslin and natural linen to compare the colors, because this is oodles, and oodles easier than getting chips or samples of both colors and shuffling them back and forth, trading them out from different light sources, or schlepping the sample boards from inside to outside. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And that's not how we do it here at the Land of Color. Instead of going through the visual gymnastics and actually mental gymnastics, trying to figure out color characteristics, we use color notations that define and describe color for us, because no one wants to waste time shuffling paint chips, right? Too much time. Who has time for that? So a little technical clarification that might be helpful. I want to share this with you. I call LCH, which is lightness, chroma, and hue angle from the C-Lab color space, data values. Hue, value, and chroma is a color notation from the Munsell color space. Both are super powerful, extremely powerful, and there are multiple ways they make understanding and working with color easier. For this video, we're going to use colorographies because they use Munsell color notations plus LRV. A colorography literally draws a picture of a color's attributes. You could say that they're infographics for paint colors. So let's get started. First up is muslin. Muslin's hue family is 1.33Y, which is just inside the yellow hue family. Because it is so close to the yellow-red hue family, it's possible that it could have moments of peachy or pink. It's going to depend on who you ask which one it is. And whether muslin shows up as a warm, light, beige-like color with no discernible hue bias, or as a peachy pink and kind of flesh tone color, it all depends on the light. Because the number one rule of color is the light is boss, and it defines color appearance. The color notations and data values that we use to describe color are determined using a standard light source called D65. It mimics daylight, I'd say, around noontime, and it's a quality of light that's evenly distributed across the visible spectrum. And that helps to make color notations objective, repeatable, and incredibly useful jumping off points for understanding why a color looks the way it does under any lighting condition. The purpose of using a standard light source like D65 to define color appearance isn't to try to duplicate the quality of light in any particular room or house. We just need a standardized light source so we have a repeatably consistent kind of a home base for comparing colors. And when we compare muslin's hue family to natural linen's hue family, we can see they're almost the same. Natural linen's hue family is 1.76Y, and that indicates that it too could shift and have moments of peachy or pink. On the colorography, value is next, and this is where these two colors differ the most. Muslin is lighter and brighter, so I'd like to take a little time out here just so we can talk about the term bright or brightness. Brightness is a descriptive word, and we use it when we talk about lightness and darkness. Brightness and lightness go hand in hand. They go together. A lot of people think bright means a color that's saturated or super colorful, and that's not what brightness is about. Think about your phone for a second. It's a good example. So when you're outside and the sun washes out your screen, you turn up the brightness. Turning up the brightness on your phone doesn't turn all the colors on your home screen super vivid or fluorescent, right? It just amps up the amount of light your phone emits, making it brighter, so it's not washed out in the bright sunshine. So muslin is lighter and brighter than natural linen. If you're torn between these two colors, the difference in brightness could be the tiebreaker. Choose muslin if you want lighter and brighter. Choose natural linen if you want a slightly quieter color. When it comes to chroma, these two colors are very close again. Muslin is the more neutral of the two because it has the lowest chroma of 1.49. Natural linen comes in at 1.54, which makes it just a smidge, just a tiny bit more colorful. Again, they're close in terms of colorfulness. Value really is where you're going to see the biggest difference, I think. So the last thing we have to tackle on the colorography is LRV, another one of my favorite topics. How about funny how that works out, right? LRV is light reflectance value. Value and LRV gives you two ways to consider a color's luminance. LRV is a measured quantity, and it tells you how much light a color reflects. Value is a perception. A value scale is a handy illustration of how light or dark a color looks. Both numbers are helpful in assessing color characteristics. Muslin has an LRV of 67.9 and natural linen has an LRV of 60. Muslin's higher LRV means it's the brighter color, which is no surprise because that's consistent with the information we got from the value numbers. While value tells us how light or dark a color looks, LRV's information about reflectance helps us predict what kind of atmosphere or mood we're going to get. Muslin is going to reflect a greater proportion of light back into the room than natural linen will. Both colors are pretty. Just be careful if you're comparing the chips. Color is contextual. And next to muslin, natural linen could look a little greenish, even though factually it's not. Colors influence each other, which is why it's best to compare colors according to their attributes, like we just did. And then we need to make sure that there's plenty of room in between samples when you test them in the space. Last but not least, if you're also painting trim, doors, or cabinets, Super White from Benjamin Moore would be my first choice to sample with both colors. I'm so glad you're here on my channel, and I just want to remind you to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos that I post. And I would also really like to know if you've tried muslin or natural linen and how they actually showed up for you in your space. So if you would, let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks, everyone.